Everyone introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Max. I've been on the show before, once or twice. Yeah. Oh, did I cut you off?
No, you didn't.
Afraid so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Well, I'm Alex. That's all I have to say.
Okay. And I'm Chang from the last Oscar episode. I'm still co-hosting.
He's still here.
Yes, I'm still here.
We're all
trapped.
still here.
Yeah.
He's trapped here.
Yes. I'm forced to do this.
I'm also forced to do this.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about, last week we were like, hey, what movies are out? And we couldn't decide on what movie to watch, so I was like, let's just talk about our favorite movies of the decade. Did anyone see Birds of Prey or anything?
I saw it.
Yet. No.
Oh, you saw it?
I wanted to.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, more for like artistic reasons than story reasons.
All right, well.
Was Ewan good?
Oh yeah, he was great. He was the best
He's
part
always
of the
good.
movie.
I love Ewan.
Well, all right, let's get into our conversation.
Sure.
We have a list here of everybody's, so it's very hard to narrow down, 5 movies of the decade.
So we have 20.
So we have 20 between us, and there's no Irishman on here, but it's okay. Max, you start first.
So, this isn't a definitive list for me, but I had to choose 5 movies. But these are still really good movies, and if I had to choose, this is it. We have number 5, Whiplash.
Yes.
We have.
It's a great film.
It's fantastic, and I do love La La Land. I know it's on your list, but Damien Chazelle, he really nailed it with this film for me.
Yeah, he represent Damien Chazelle.
I got Whiplash number 5. Number 4, we have 1917. I could have swapped that out with Dunkirk. I love Dunkirk. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I wanted an animation movie on there, so this is a perfect animation film, if not the best animation film. I love it. I could have swapped that out with Toy Story 3, because that was also really another good film. I have Logan on here. I would have swapped that out with like Blade Runner. And then I couldn't swap any of these out. Captain America Civil War. It has been the best movie since 2016. And then Avengers Endgame came around and said, okay, you can move over now. So that was my list.
So you have a very interesting list.
It's good.
Yeah.
All of the genres all distributed. There's anime, there's war movie, and there's little personal.
Yeah,
and
but
Logan? Yes.
Logan's phenomenal. You have Logan. We'll get to your list later, but you have Logan on your list too. I mean, 3 of those movies are superhero movies.
4.
And they're superb.
Actually, 4 of those
Yes.
movies are superhero.
And they're superb. How about you talk about the Joker again?
No, God.
You want to
You
mention?
brought it up. I'm not
No,
bringing
you
it
want
up
to
this
mention it
episode.
every
Hey,
show.
no,
No,
I'm
go
not
for
bringing
it. Go for your
I'm
list.
not bringing it up. No, we're
You
not
knew
done.
this was gonna happen.
We're not done with his list yet. Okay.
My list. Whose list?
Does anyone have opinions on his list?
Well, the first one, there was a whole controversial going on because the Martin Scorsese, he said the Marvel films are not like a film.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of pro to his words, so
Okay, I agree with you.
Yes, I would object, but it's still a very good movie.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
I would say Martin Scorsese. He's got some good points. I wouldn't totally disagree with him. I think Endgame's overrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the whole last hour was just completely bloated and.
I was in the theater, my jaw was on the floor. If you can make my jaw on the floor during a movie, like Parasite,
Yes.
if that could happen to me during a movie, it's gonna be really good, and you're gonna be high up on my list.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I like Logan's phenomenal.
And I'm also
Logan's
biased towards Marvel movies.
Logan is phenomenal. I wouldn't even consider that a superhero movie. There's nothing super about it. It's everyone. It's kind of like The Irishman, but with superheroes. It's like everyone's dying and getting old, and then the movie ends and you're sad. And I love Logan.
Yeah, but they still got powers. Super.
Kind of. His power is a brain aneurysm. That's his power. So
Did we watch the same movie?
Logan.
What about the little girl? The little girl's like.
Yeah. I know that. I know. I'm stretching a little bit, but what I'm saying is that it's not your typical superhero movie. It's more of a western.
Yeah.
It's more of a drama, character study. It's not your typical Civil War. I'd say is 100% a superhero movie.
Approach was totally
Actually, it's
different.
actually Civil War is a soap opera
Yeah, right.
between Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah, there's too much like the first hour and a half of Civil War is just like so boring.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I love it. Best movie, best picture, 5 years in a row. All
right, so I got my list here. We got First Reformed at number 5. It's about a priest who finds out that global warming is going to kill everyone, so he decides to blow up the church that he works at. I'll explain it later. Okay. You Were Never Really Here is Joaquin Phoenix beats up pedophiles with a hammer. La La Land is a musical directed by Damien Chazelle, did Whiplash. And then Her is another Joaquin Phoenix movie where he falls in love with his operating system. And number 1 is Phantom Thread, about a dress designer who gets force-fed poisonous mushrooms so that his girlfriend will make him fall in love with her. Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, so yeah, First Reformed, you looked a little weird when I started describing
I
it.
have to say, it's weird to go from those two plot lines to La La Land.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, First Reformed, it's shot in a 3, like the Lighthouse. It's shot in like a 3x4, and it's with Ethan Hawke and Amanda Seyfried. And Amanda Seyfried's like, hey, my husband's kind of crazy. He has all these like global warming posters up in his house. Can you go talk to him? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, we're all gonna be dead by 2050. And Ethan Hawke's like, nah, God, believe in God. And then he begins to discover that he might be right, and he finds out that the company that owns the church is like in the top 10 polluters in America, and he's like, oh, he might be right. So then he might take matters into his own hands. He finds a bomb vest, and I won't spoil the ending, but it's great. It's written by the guy who did Taxi Driver, so it's very much, it's very methodical, very like slow moving, but it's great.
It's sold. I'll watch it.
It's great. You Were Never Really Here. Joaquin Phoenix came out 2 years ago, I think. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in it. We were talking about it before. Again, a little bit like Taxi Driver. He like saves like this girl from like a pedophile ring, but then it turns out that like another government official was like running the ring.
Is
and
this his movie before Joker? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
It's. I mean, again, it's like a modern day Taxi Driver. Like it
Cool.
takes place like in modern day, but he's very much like a lone gun with his hammer. And the action scenes, they're not even action scenes. Like they're shot from like the security camera, so you see him like walking through the halls with the hammer. It's really cool. La La Land, a beautiful film, very much like You Were Never Really Here. No, La La Land is like, I saw that 3 times in the theaters. I love La La Land. I love Ryan Gosling. I love Damien Chazelle. I love it. Her, I love that movie too. I love the look of Her the best. Like the city is like realistic, but it's kind of in the future too. And people kind of write it off as he falls in love with his computer. It's not that. Watch it. It's great. And then Phantom Thread is just like, I watched Phantom Thread a million times. I think Radiohead did the soundtrack for it, Johnny Greenwood. And Daniel Day-Lewis is like the best actor working at, well, he retired. But
I think it was the last film.
it was his last film. So I love Phantom Thread. Paul Thomas Anderson's my favorite director of all time. Boogie Nights and There Be Blood, he's like amazing. So Phantom Thread is just like the icing on the cake. Very boring though, so kind of, if you're gonna watch it, it's not an action movie.
Was that his only movie of that decade?
What?
Phantom Thread?
Paul Thomas Anderson did he did The Master.
Oh, really?
And he did Inherent Vice. He did a few movies, but I think Phantom Thread from the decade is his best one. So
Gotcha.
that's my list. So yeah.
I can't really dispute many of those because I haven't seen any of them.
Word.
Except for La La Land, which I turned off because it was boring.
You know,
I love it.
I'm
with you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you seen La La Land?
Yes, of course, like 3 times. I even like bought the movie. It's in
Good.
my
I have it on vinyl.
So,
Yes.
That's
Really?
awesome.
Oh, the soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Like
I
City of
can't
Stars.
believe you guys.
City of Stars
Yes,
is the
everybody
best
plays
song
that in the
ever.
piano. Like,
Holy
yes.
crap. Yeah, I mean,
So
you
good.
turn it off halfway. I would say the beginning half is the best part, and then the last like scene is the best. So if you didn't like the beginning,
So it gets worse?
no, I will say that the second half kind of like it not gets more boring, but like
yeah, I like the ending, but like the last 10 minutes, was it? That
Like, you
all
like-
these like montages.
right.
Yeah.
That I had little doubts about it because like
I loved it. I loved how they did that ending.
Well, what's the guy who does the music? Justin
Hurwitz.
Justin Hurwitz.
Yeah.
So good.
I know,
I
he's
still
great.
need to see First Man.
First Man's phenomenal. Again,
that's very good.
there was a few movies that I left out. Like First Man could have been on there.
Right.
Blade Runner could have been on there.
Right.
Logan could have been on there. I'm missing. There's like one more that I could throw. The Irishman. Call Me by Your Name. Like there's a lot of movies that came out this decade that's good. So that's mine. Alex, it's your
All
turn.
right. Number 5, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Great film.
Is this the? I'm sorry, I cut you off. But is this the one, the third one, or is this the second?
This is the second one.
Okay.
Okay, so second one of the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy,
Okay.
and the
Right.
best by far. one of Andy Serkis' best performances, one of the best villains of the decade in Koba, the ape.
Right, he's the crazy one with the fans.
Yeah. It's great. There's literally a scene where an ape is on horseback firing a machine gun at soldiers. I mean, you can't go wrong with this movie.
This is the one with Gary Oldman, right?
Yeah.
I don't like Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it's got a great.
You have a lot of opinions today, don't you?
I do. I 5 of them are on here.
Look at that.
But yeah, it's got a great cast.
Cool.
People said the human characters kind of suck. I didn't think they were that bad. But yeah, great cast, great action. It was really dark. I didn't expect a lot of that to happen. But yeah, so The Lighthouse. I've spoken about this before. I think my previous rants pretty much did it justice. I don't think I can go beyond that, but pretty much see The Lighthouse. It's easily the best movie of the year. Now we got Logan, as we stated before. Fantastic.
Phenomenal film.
Hugh Jackman's best performance.
He is so good in that. I completely forgot like how his.
He was so good in movie 43 though. I left that off the list.
We left The Greatest Showman off the list too.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's best performance. The man can scream and convince me that he is in constant pain.
Yeah.
And yeah, so great performance, great action.
Have you ever seen like him doing like the Foley work for his like?
He's
in like a
the
room.
audio booth, right? Yeah.
He's in the audio booth and he's like doing like the audio work for like it's him running at the end like trying to attack everybody in like the woods and he's like in the room he's like
he's like standing
screaming.
he's like standing in a booth by himself looking at the movie and he's doing the audio along to it. He's just like to no one.
Makes it even better.
makes it even better. That's how dedicated he is.
All right, number 2, Kingsman: The Secret Service.
This is the first one, right?
First one. Second one,
Second one's not good.
trash, utter trash. But
Haven't
this
seen
first
it.
one,
First one's very good.
Absolutely.
it's not just a funny movie. It's not just a cool action movie. It's like this huge like spy satire, but like you can also take it seriously because you care about all the characters. And Samuel L. Jackson's in it, and he's got a lisp.
I forgot about him.
And
he throws up.
You know who I forget's in that movie? Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
He's in it for 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Right,
But he
he
was
gets
great for
blown
that
up.
2 seconds. and yeah, so the action is phenomenal. It's so well shot. It has the best action scene of the decade with that
is?
whole church scene.
The church.
Oh, the church scene is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Great.
I love the church scene.
Yeah, great music too. Nobody
Yeah.
talks about that, but
the Free Bird, right? From the
Yeah, Free Bird.
Yeah,
I love that music.
yeah.
It is a great scene.
So
all right. And last but certainly not least, Shin Godzilla. Now, I am a huge Godzilla fan. I've been watching all the Japanese movies since I was a young tyke. And I've like grown up with pretty much like there's a lot of like different genres the Godzilla series has covered. It's been like serious melodrama, it's been a comedy, it's been like some sort of weird techno-Americanized action film. But this one takes it a little differently. It pretty much has the same plot and tone, excuse me, and themes of the first movie, but it goes towards the political side of things. So it shows how all the politicians involved are trying to like sort of work around this whole disaster. There's like this ragtag group of government experts who are like sent in to like basically do what the government can. It takes a lot of inspiration from that 2011 earthquake tsunami, and sort of how the government was like they didn't really respond very well to that. And there's a lot of political satire. There's a lot of great comedy, a lot of great characters. There's a lot of great serious moments. It mixes tones very well, and it's not an action movie. There's a lot of talking in it. It's a very talky movie, very fast talking, very fast, complicated science talking. And honestly, it took me a couple times to watch it and enjoy it as much as I do. But yeah, so all that stuff together, by far best film of the decade.
All right.
What year was that?
That
Yeah.
was 2016.
Cool. All right.
Cool. I think.
Also, best special effects of the series. CGI flawless. It
not
looks
the Americanized ones.
not not the American one. Like the CGI in this movie looks as real as you could make it, which is surprising because Japanese CGI usually isn't all that great. But
Yeah.
it looks exactly like a rubber suit would look.
Nice.
Oh, did they purposely make it look like a rubber suit, or is it actually a rubber suit?
They made it look. They did like motion capture and they made it look like a rubber suit.
Do you want to do his list real quick before we go to commercial?
Yeah, I think we gotta do one more list. Or should we go to commercial and then we save more time? Yeah, let's go to commercial.
Commercial.
And then we're going to do your list after the commercial, all
Thank
right?
you.
So, see you right after that.
They'll see you before you see them. Cops are cracking down on drinking and driving. Drive sober or get pulled over.
All right, we're back. We got one more list, and
Yes.
then maybe we'll have a little discussion of everything at the end. So,
Okay,
Go for it.
please go for it.
So my fifth is the Francis Ha. It's directed by Noah Baumbach. I love him so much because like I love the like East Side vibe, you know, like New
Okay.
York City, and he just captures all these like atmospheres very well. Plus, like there's lots of, I think he is a very good at like writing dialogue, you know, like
Cool.
people talking.
Is that with Greta Gerwig? Is she like the main character?
Yes,
Okay.
she's a
What is the movie
protagonist.
about?
So like it's basically this the woman, the Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
I just forgot her name, but she just goes through her life. So she lives with a friend. So she is very, I don't say like, very dependent person at first.
Cool.
But in the end, she gets her own room apartment. So her name is Frances Holloway. But then the reason that cut off was that like the name tag at the apartment.
Yeah.
It's a limited space, right?
Gotcha.
So you have to cut off.
Ah.
It's so good. Like
Yeah.
Nice.
there's lots of dramas.
Noah Baumbach's, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I like the Meyerowitz stories. I saw that movie. That was pretty good. So yeah, that's cool.
Okay, and that's my fifth. And fourth one is The Lobster.
My mic disappeared.
His mic disappeared, but
Where'd it go?
we're gonna keep going.
Okay. Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Lobster, I heard, is nuts.
There you go.
Lobster's
So-
like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So like, it was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos,
Uh-huh,
and
yeah.
his films are really all bizarre. You know,
Mm-hmm.
his themes are. It's not conventional.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
very unique.
Yeah,
And
it-
for this one, it's like a love story, you know.
Yeah,
But
it's like a weird love story.
yeah, but it's very bizarre and
Like Shape of Water love story.
more. It
More
goes
than that.
more.
Oh, more than that?
Yes.
More than that.
Because yeah, basically, so like, there's lots of themes. So he talks in very weird characters, very weird.
They all
world.
talk like this. They all talk very robotic like they don't have any feelings to them. It's
I like
really
how
weird.
this is what a
This
robot
is robot. This is what a robot
does.
So like this is like it's like a really weird like world that the government all like matches up couples. So if you
Oh,
don't,
cool.
if you have to go into like a hotel, and if you don't find your other pair, like I think it's 45 days,
Yeah.
you turn into animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
stuff.
So
I
his
didn't-
animal is a lobster. He's like, I
Yeah.
want to be a lobster. So
Yeah.
it's really cool.
You,
Yeah.
you gotta see. I can't explain.
Yeah.
It's so
That's like-
bizarre.
It doesn't sound
Sorta
like something you can
I don't know why it
explain.
reminded
no.
me of
No.
this. There's a Justin Timberlake movie where like they all have like
the risk, the time.
yeah, they have
thing,
times. They know when
I
they're gonna
saw
die.
that.
They have like a timer
Yes.
on
Yeah.
them.
I know that movie.
Yeah.
forgot the name of
About
it.
Time,
Oh.
I think is what it's
Oh
called.
no, In Time.
In Time.
Oh my gosh, it reminded me of that for some
Yeah.
reason, but it has nothing to do with animals.
But it's really serious. But it's really serious. Like the movie, like the tone is
Yeah.
super serious. But it talks.
Okay.
But they dance with their headphones. Like
Yeah, they're dancing like by themselves.
Yes.
Like there's like 30 of them, but they all have their
Cool.
headphones on. They're just dancing alone.
You just
I
have to
like how
see it.
like one of the girls has a bloody nose, and the guy wants to get with her, and he's like, "But my nose doesn't bleed." So he starts banging his head, and he's like, "Well, my nose bleeds. Oh, so does yours. Let's get married." And then
Yeah.
they move on.
Why
and
haven't I seen this
it's,
movie?
You would love it. I don't know why you haven't seen
This
it.
is right up my
the
alley.
things people do for love.
Yeah. And then he has to like hold his to not touch himself. He needs to walk around the
Yes.
hotel with his arm tied around his
to
back.
show that you like
Yeah.
you need two
You
pairs
need two
for.
pairs to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
So continue, please. What a great movie.
Yes. So I will like move on to number 3 because it's yes. And number 3 is The Kid with the Bike. So I'm not sure like everybody saw this movie.
No.
It's by Dardenne brothers.
Okay.
They're from Belgium. Actually, that film won like a prize in the Cannes festival.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's widely acclaimed.
Sweet.
So they started their career as a documentary, but that is not a documentary. That is it's just literally it's where the camera follows a kid, and the kid is he has no mother, and there's a father, but the father abandoned him.
Okay.
So he is in like this orphanage, but he somehow escapes and just looks for his father, and he knows where the father is, but the father keeps like abandoning him. It's very sad, and he at the end he matures. Like, so in beginning because he's very dependent, he has no one to rely on, so he goes to like meets bad kids and does little crimes, but at last like he really matures. And at the last scene, like I just saw it in like an hour ago. You have to cry.
I gotta check it out then. That sounds really cool.
Kid with the bike. All right, I'm
Write that down.
putting that on the list.
It's not that long. It's like an hour and 40 minutes.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Very good. And second one is Birdman.
I love
Fantastic
what
film.
a great
So
film. What a
good,
great
so
film.
good.
Man, I really have not seen a lot of movies.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone
Emma
again,
Stone.
showing up again. There's a lot of patterns here. Logan and Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone.
Hey, as much as you don't like La La Land, Emma Stone got that award.
All right.
She didn't win. No, she didn't win.
Yeah, she did.
She got nominated. Her first one was for La La Land.
Yeah, she got the actress.
Nominated for Birdman.
No. I'm saying like for
Oh,
she got
for
the
La La
award
Land.
for
Yeah,
La La Land.
Yeah, I wouldn't say too much about the Oscars since I can bring up Best Picture.
Parasite? Yeah, it's a great movie.
No.
All right,
I mean,
Moonlight.
Quickly,
Let's
okay?
continue with Birdman,
Yes.
please.
So Birdman is basically a one shot. It's like not typically a one shot. It's like of course, it's edited well,
Right.
like 1917. But like the theme, it's love. It's very simple, but
Yeah.
Cool.
there's lots of loves happening because the main character, what is his name? Is the Birdman?
Yeah,
character?
what's his name?
What's
I don't
his
even remember. It's like
So him.
Batman.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
the Batman from the 90s, right?
Michael Keaton.
Michael
Michael
Keaton
Keaton,
is the
yes.
actor, but
Yes.
his name is very like weird. in
His
the
name is
movie.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like everybody knows the stories, right?
Regan
Most of
Thompson
people-
is his
Regan
name.
Thompson, yes. So yes, like how he goes through, he gets all this trouble. He has family issues.
Yeah.
He wants to get loved by his show, right? He's
Yeah.
like he is opening this theater, and there's like a critic who always like criticize him. And there's like a famous scene like in the bar, they arguing like,
right.
"Do you know art?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like that kind of like
That's
it
a
gives
good-
me goosebumps.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Ed Norton is the actor they bring in to like make the show better, and he's phenomenal in it.
Love Ed
Really
Yeah.
weird. And like at last, like he shoots himself.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Like I like the ending because like you don't know where the
Yeah,
dream
it's
part
not
is.
concrete. Yeah, it's not concrete.
It's very
Yeah.
vague.
Yeah.
Like dream and reality,
Uh-huh.
you don't know at the end.
Emma Stone is just like, huh?
Yeah, that's the last scene. And moving on to number one, Parasite. I think I was a little hasty about that, but right
it's
now,
fine.
no doubt, you know.
It's fine.
'Cause-
Parasite is
Yes. So like last year, 2019 it celebrates the 100th like anniversary of Korean film
That's
when it
awesome.
started.
That's
so
cool.
it's very like monumental, like
Wow.
winning that in the Oscars.
Oh,
so, yes,
that's
kind of-
amazing.
It's a well-deserved movie.
It's
so
well-deserved.
phenomenal.
Yeah. We
Like,
talked about it last show.
talked
So
about it last
I'll
show.
skip that.
No,
yeah.
don't skip it.
Let's skip it.
Let's still talk about it.
Yeah.
I watched it a few
We
days
have
ago.
a few minutes
yeah.
left. Let's
Yeah,
just
okay.
watch the movie.
No, I think it's not jumping to conclusions. Parasite is a phenomenal movie. Did you see Parasite, Alex?
No.
Wow.
I mean, I mostly watch older movies. That's my thing.
That's fine.
The light. Okay.
Yeah.
All your movies
is
are
the-
so old.
This is the decade. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, wait,
yeah.
I-
This is a decade
You're right.
show.
All right, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not on the planet.
So
Sorry
like
about
in
that.
Korea, like they're gonna like reopen the film in black and white version. I don't know if they're gonna
Oh
doing it in the
man,
States.
that sounds
but
awesome.
it's very very cool. So they said if you look at it in black and white version, you can see like the themes and the expression of.
I wonder how that
actors
changes
alive.
like all the cinematography.
Well, there's a lot of
and all
like
that, yeah.
imageries of like lines, like crossing lines. Like the dad says a lot. Like he doesn't cross the line. He
Someone
doesn't
mentioned it
cross the line.
last week with like the window,
Yeah.
like in their apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
As
their
opposed to,
window,
like, the-
yeah, and then the rich people window.
Yeah,
This one.
the
Yeah.
whole view.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great film.
It's such a good movie.
We have about 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. So
Listen, like I said, this is not my definitive list.
no,
It's just a great.
Yeah.
It's just great picks by me.
because you all had stuff on your list that I was like, oh, Parasite and Birdman, love it. Lobster, love it. Logan, you both had Logan, love that movie. Spider-Verse, I love. Whiplash, I love. Like I love all these movies and more. that I feel like narrowing it down to 5 is impossible.
And what's very interesting is that like there are so many movies. There is no number one, like solid number one. It's all different.
Right.
So, which I think that kind of like proves that like over the decade, there's so many diverse movies.
Yeah.
There's different
lots of
styles.
countries.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's all very unique.
Yeah.
So-
It just comes down to like your preference.
Exactly. If you want to put Transformers on there,
It's fine.
go
No.
ahead.
Right.
Speaking of that, I saw, I think the 4th one with like the dinosaurs
I
in
don't
theaters. It was awful. I'm sorry, Transformers is awful.
Did any of you see Sonic the Hedgehog?
I didn't get to go see that yet, no.
No, I didn't see it.
But we're in a
really
new
wanna see
decade.
that.
Hopefully it gets even better from
Yeah,
now on.
hopefully. I mean, there's again Bong Joon-ho, people like him are making new. The Safdie brothers, they're making new stuff. There's a lot of new directors coming out.
Yeah.
I'm
this
glad
decade.
there's a lot more indie movies getting a lot
Yeah.
more attention
Yeah.
nowadays.
And they have the Independent Spirit Awards thing now, which is great. But you're right. There's a lot more like the Lighthouses, Lighthouse and Uncut Gems and Parasite for indie movies. They're branching out.
Yeah.
And
And
also, like Whiplash, that started with a Sundance short.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Whiplash. That's right. It was like a
Yes.
5-minute short that
And
they
it got like contract with a full-length
Yeah,
feature film.
that's
so
awesome, and
that
I
is
think
really
that
cool.
we should be championing that.
I'm still waiting for like the Broadway show.
Of Whiplash?
No, not Whiplash. Of La La Land.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, but I feel like La La Land, a big part of it is that it's Hollywood, and like I don't know if you can do a Broadway show of it.
We'll
They
see.
probably will anyway.
Yeah.
No, I could see him doing a Greatest Showman Broadway show.
That'd be
before-
cool.
That would be so.
Did you guys like Greatest Showman?
No, but like I haven't seen it. I know what it's about. I just think it would be cool.
Oh, okay.
Any movie
I mean-
turned into a musical. Imagine like the Lobster into like a musical.
Well, we got
Logan.
Logan as a musical.
Oh my gosh.
Logan as a musical.
Logan, it's gonna be like Spider-Man. Remember the Spider-Man
Oh,
musical?
the-
You could even
Logan comes into the crowd and
Yeah.
just slices and dices.
you could even get Hugh Jackman because he's a Broadway guy.
That's true.
All right, well, that's it. We're doing Logan the musical. Thank you for coming. We had a great show. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.